Right. The fact that the defendant is a guarantor for Lorain National Bank, does that have significance for those financial disclosure forms?
Yes, it does.
Can you explain the significance to the members of the jury?
One section that I was looking at on the form requires all public officials who file such a form to disclose any person to whom they owe $1,000 at any point in time during the calendar year. And that includes situations where you are in a debtor-creditor relationship, such as a student loan, mortgage on a house, and also credit cards or other similar situations. This guarantee agreement, which was signed by James Burge, guarantees a specific loan through Lorain National Bank, and specifically states that under subsection 8 here, confession of judgment, that in addition to any bank remedies, that the guarantor authorizes anyone to appear in court of record to confess judgment, which means essentially proceed against them under certain conditions. And because of that relationship, because it's a situation where the personal financial interests of Mr. Burge in this situation exist that could potentially conflict with his public responsibilities in the context of this relationship, the law requires disclosure of that, both to remind the individual, the filer, that this is a potential for conflict, that if something comes up in your public responsibilities, you should abstain or remove yourself, but also to inform the general public that there's this potential relationship exists, and therefore the public is made aware of the fact that there's a potential conflict of interest with that particular public official. Enough facts for me to make a conclusion.
Well, let me try to rephrase it. You're looking at financial statements filed by a judge, year after year after year. In each of those years, you're seeing a debt to Lorain National Bank. And then one year, it's omitted. And then after that, it continues to list it. Would you conclude that in the year he missed it, he was mistaken, or he was a liar?
I would wonder hard why it was not disclosed in a particular year. I would wonder if there's a reason they chose not to disclose it for a particular year. Because, again, the purpose of disclosure is to provide, not just to remind the public official of potential conflicts of interest, but also to inform the public.
Would you agree with me that not everyone who makes a mistake does so with the intent to defraud the citizens?
I would agree.
Overruled. He's also charged with 3 counts of tampering with government records and 3 financial disclosure. The state of Ohio has proven to you that the defendant knowingly made a false statement or knowingly swore or affirmed the truth of a false statement when the statement was in writing or in connection with a report or return as required by law. The state of Ohio has proven to you that the defendant did knowingly, he had no privilege to do so, and with the purpose to defraud, or knowing he was facilitating a fraud on the people of the state of Ohio, falsify and conceal any writing that is required by law. Those, again, are his financial disclosure statements. And those records were kept by a state governmental agency, in this case, the Ohio Supreme Court. Now,
And I will accept it every day, for as long as the people want me to serve. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to determine whether I relied on these forms, or was mistaken, or whether I used my best judgment. It's up to you to decide. You can only decide that by listening to me and looking at me and determining whether I twitch, whether I'm willing to look you in the face Judge. Not someone has promised you. Oh no. Cannot do it. I place my future, I place the determination of this case, rather, in your sound hands, and certainly will be glad to accept any decision that you might make about me. Without all of you, I wouldn't have been a judge. The voters hired me. As the voters are the people that I owe it to explain myself. I hope I have done that. I hope I can continue to serve. But more than that, no matter how this case comes out, whether you decide in my favor or not, I appreciate your call to duty here.
Penny cards. He remembers his Visa cards. He remembers his wife's law practice. The defendant invited you, as I'm going to invite you, to look at his behavior. Stand. Remember when he testified and he reinforced in his closing that he doesn't think that owning rental property is a business? I want you to think about that one statement that he testified to under oath for 1 second. A judge and a lawyer of 40 years actually looked at you under oath and said he doesn't think, and he didn't think, that owning rental property was a business. That